Thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy podcast, where we delve into crazy creatures, evading extraterrestrials, horrifying haunted places, the unexplained, and the conspiracies that surround them. The following content will more than likely involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised. For bonus materials, uncut video versions of the episodes, and other great perks, go on over to patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. Dollars for disclosure, half Sawbuck Snally, and Paranormal Posse members will get a shout out on the pod, access to the private Discord server, as well as more perks that you can find in each tier. However, if you are using an iOS application, I suggest that you sign up through a web browser to avoid the 30% fee that is charged through the app that is not at all related to the podcast. You will still be able to listen on the app, even though you sign up through the browser. So grab your rose colored glasses, skeptical suits, and hold onto your butts as we teleport into the realm of the CCC podcast. Hope to see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. So, Pinky's out. Yep. Hold on. Let me get my Hogwarts cup. I'm probably a Slytherin if I had to guess. I can be a bit hasty. With me again today is Kevin. Where the Weird Ones Are. I know that I've had him on a couple times and I absolutely love him. He's fantastic. If you want, I'll go ahead since it has been a while since you've been on. I'll give you the floor for a little bit, let everybody know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kevin, host of Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. It's a conversational based podcast around guest experiences with paranormal, supernatural, spirituality. Mental health is a big thing just because I know that I struggle with it and when you have these kinds of experiences and you're not wanting to tell people because you think you're crazy, that also leads into the fact of you know mental distress of some kind. And then conspiracies, there's a lot of them that I believe in and a lot of them that I don't. Some of them get crazy, and tend to when you believe in all of them, that can also lead you down a mental health
Mm-hmm.
crisis. So yeah, those are all the things that I like to talk about on the show. Where you can find me is anywhere you get podcasts.
Right on.
Also on YouTube, and I think I'm gonna get back on Rumble. But YouTube doesn't really monetize me, which is totally fine. I don't do it to be monetized, and I don't do it for the listenership. I do it because I want to have these conversations, and a lot of times it helps people in their own
Struggles.
way. Just yeah, be able to talk about it in a way. I'm here for that. That's what I care about more. So even if I only had one listener, I'd still be doing the
Yep.
show.
That's one thing that I like is because I'm with you. I like to be a big advocate for mental health. I'm like a mental alphabet soup when you start going over everything. I feel is very helpful because there's a lot of people that in my life, I'm very open and honest about my issues and where I was. And that was a very long journey for me to even get to where I'm at. And it's going to be a struggle for the rest of my life because you can't get rid of it. We did leave something out in your little spiff there. Are you still doing the hot sauce gig?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the hot sauce, coffee, and supplements. And I do a morning show on my YouTube every other Sunday in a way to try and promote my coffee, but nobody buying the coffee still.
I have all my art and stuff. And actually, so for everybody who's watching it, I'm going to try to put the video up for everybody. But I have these little skulls that I made.
Nice.
And I wore them to work today. And I had so many people that were like, "Oh, I love your earrings." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I make them." And so I was like handing out business cards at work. And like, here's my number. Get a hold of me and I'll hook you up. But yeah, I
Awesome.
wanted to make sure that we put that out there because I definitely want to support everybody who's on the show because everybody that I work with is absolutely phenomenal. And as much help as I can get, I'm going to try to give. So
Appreciate it.
that being said, with the whole advocacy of mental health, we're going to dive in because I specifically chose you for this topic because I know you're such an advocate. And it's just, ironically, I've had these notes for at least 6 months. And we talked a little bit before we started. I am going through it, man. It is a shit storm And I didn't even get equipped with a poncho or an umbrella. I am just out there hanging onto that railing while the wind's whipping me around, trying to hang on for dear life.
That's an interesting visual.
I'm picturing from like Twister when they pick the belts or
Yeah.
whatever, and you're like, they're hanging. That's what I feel like right now. So today we're going to cover bipolar disorder. I don't know what you've got going on or anything. I am bipolar. And it's been very difficult because I'm the weirdo in the family, right? So my father has issues, I think, and but my mom like has anxiety, but nobody else in the family has what I have, and so I've been broken since birth.
Uh-huh.
I tell everybody I was like, I wish my mom would have taken me back for a refund because I'm defective, which is not the most positive way to look at it. I'm sure there's some kind of positive spin on it. I just haven't found it yet.
You're not defective, you're meant to be here.
It's just it's very difficult. So I figured having this out there's a lot of people that might have it and not realize it. I got misdiagnosed when I was younger and it almost killed me
Yeah.
because I didn't get the right treatment. So I just wanted to throw this out there so we can have it. And disclaimer ahead of time, a lot of what I'm going to talk about, you've got to put into consideration. A lot of the people that have this issue don't know that they have the issue. They don't see it. We don't see it. To us, we know something's wrong, but we can't really quite place it. So just extra close attention. It might pertain to you and you might be like, oh, this all makes sense, but it might also pertain to somebody else that so just be aware of that, that not everybody who has this realizes that they have it.
Yeah. I'll say, oh, emotions are hard to navigate anyway. You can change your emotions fairly quickly on in a regular mindset. But,
Hmm.
but bipolar disorder is literally a switch a
Yep.
lot of times.
And it gets stuck.
Yeah, bipolar runs in my family.
Okay.
So my mom has it and my older brother has it. As far as I know, I don't. I could probably see it when I was younger for sure. I just want to say real quick though is I had an ex-girlfriend who seemed she seemed great in the beginning and then things started changing and there was one time we were fighting. She was literally screaming at me and we had just had the best day ever. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a
Yep.
sudden it was bam. And I was sitting there on the couch and I was staring at her, screaming at me. And I go, do you think that you might be bipolar? Just like that. I didn't call her any names, anything. And she
Mm-hmm.
just lost her mind.
Yeah.
How can you say that? That's a serious mental disease. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you should get checked. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm just asking you. I'm not trying to fucking be rude or anything. And then I ended up having to sleep on the couch that night and everything. So,
And I will say, as somebody who has it, when I was younger, people would be like, "Oh, what are you, bipolar?" And it's like a trigger. I don't know what it is, but there's just something. And I think it's because the stigma behind it and what people think. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to go through this. Is it is not what most people think it is. And when you say that to somebody, it puts that label on them that is not at all what they're going through. And we don't like to be associated with that, like at
yeah.
all. So that might have been part of that little, because once you get that label, then everybody looks at you different for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
It's like having that scarlet letter or whatever. I'm walking
Yeah.
around with a big old B.
Everybody's be careful around that person. You don't want to flip that switch.
I've literally had people cross the street to avoid me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, we're going to start with some stats before we get into some of this stuff. Bipolar disorder affects the brain by causing changes in a person's energy, mood, and ability to function. These changes take the form of intense emotional states that come up during specific periods of days or weeks that they refer to as quote unquote mood episodes. So you'll hear the word episodes a lot. And episodes come either in a manic or a depressive state, which is why it's called bipolar and it's two polar opposites, right? So you have the up and then you have the down.
Hmm.
In theory, we'll get into more about there's some gray, but that's the main part of it. And people with bipolar disorder can experience disruption in relationships, difficulties at work, problems in school. Amen, amen. Just saying. Because again, like you said, totally fine, perfect day. I have been medicated for going on 12 years, I think.
Mhm.
I've been doing this, like avid, working hard to get better. And I just did this, my poor boyfriend, a couple weeks ago. We had an amazing day. It was perfect. And then I don't know what happened in my brain, but it was like shit exploded for no reason.
Mhm.
I could not control it. And so it ruined a perfect day. Eh, And 80 to 90% of people with the disorder actually have a family member with the disorder or depression. They didn't mention anxiety as much, but usually and that's high. That's 80 to 90% are relative.
Everybody has depression, though.
100%.
I don't
I mean, it
think
might not be
depre
chronic all
I
in all
mean,
cases, but everybody at some point in their life goes through this.
everybody experiences it depression at one point or another, or maybe
Mhm.
several points. Some people have a harder time getting out of it, especially bipolar people. They have a harder time getting out of their depressive state. Sometimes you see them not wanting to do anything, and
Yeah. Yep. Amen.
yeah. So I don't know. When it comes to medicating these things, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, yeah, yes, and I don't know because I don't 100% believe in modern medication. I do and I don't, if that makes any sense. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just because like antidepressants, they make you more depressed.
Okay. So, fun fact, just so you know, if somebody is bipolar and you try to treat them, this is when I told you it almost killed me.
Yeah,
This is it.
yep.
I went to get help. They said I was just depressed. They put me on only an antidepressant. And if you give that to a bipolar person alone, it will destroy them. It like amplifies the depression in their brain and it doesn't fix anything. It just makes it worse.
Yeah, one of the symptoms of antidepressant is suicidal ideation.
Hmm.
So,
Which is ironic.
there's bipolar for one. I think bipolar has always been a thing. I don't think it's new
Yes.
to society or anything like that. And not, but I think everybody should know the symptoms. I believe that's
Hmm.
the whole point of this episode today.
Yep. It's awareness. I feel like you said, it has been around. It's just that people, it either did not have a label, it didn't have the correct label when it had one, or people just weren't aware. Like when I was younger, they wouldn't treat me because they said it was hormones. I was too young. It was just hormones. And then it was depression. It's like they rule everything else out and they make you run through this ringer before they finally get to the problem because it's still like a poo thing. It's like, oh, bipolar is not a thing. It's a thing, and a lot of people have it. But
Mhm.
it's like they don't want to put that label on somebody. They'd rather treat them with something else
Yeah,
than to treat the actual disease or
yeah.
disorder.
I noticed that doctors tend to just feel like they automatically just think they know everything just because they do. They know a lot. I'm not gonna poo doctors. I'm just saying they're trying to see like 100 people in one day and just don't have the time to sit there and go through everything with you, which I think is a problem
Hmm.
too, as well.
Biggest thing too that I've noticed: if you think that you or someone else is struggling, go to a behavioral health specialist. Do not go to a primary care doctor.
Hmm.
You ask for a specialist because I went through all these doctors and no one did anything. I went to a behavioral health doctor, my first appointment. There were questions that she asked me. And as soon as she asked me the question, she goes, I know exactly what's wrong with you. Let's start treatment. And I immediately started getting better. I just never was in front of the right person. So make sure that you go to the right people.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's highly important for everybody, even if you're not really struggling mentally, is to have a therapist or
Hmm.
something. Even if you don't see them often, Obviously, once you get into where you're struggling mentally more often than not, then you want to see the therapist a little more often
Yeah.
and just talk about everything. But I think everybody, even if it's just one visit a year or something like that,
Mhm.
like as a mental check-in or something like
Yeah.
that, just to be like, where am I at?
Yeah, like doing your physical, your annual exam. You just
Yeah.
put it on there just to touch base. You could do more if you need to, but you have a foot in the door. You can keep your therapist. You don't have to worry about jumping through hoops when you're already at a point where you need one. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're causing more problems, stressing out about finding one. So, yeah, definitely put it on your to do list. So,
Yeah.
ironically, we were just talking about how many people have it. They say that 7 million adults are suffering from it in the US alone, just the US. And that is a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, the US is the United States of anxiety. It's money, time,
Mhm.
bills.
Lack of
What
time.
are my kids gonna be okay if I send them somewhere? That's another thing is that like homeschool has been shunned. You can't do like if you think something is a better way for you and your family, the normal society is gonna make you feel like a crazy person or
Yeah.
what you think is normal
Well,
society.
if you don't have kids in the seats, they don't get as much funding.
And that too. And there's this is something that I learned too. I don't this doesn't really have anything to do with mental health, but if you have a family plot on your land, the government can't come after you for your taxes. They can't take your land if you don't pay your property tax.
Hmm.
If you have a family plot, which is why I think they started doing
It's illegal to
mass
bury it.
the mass graves. Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
So
because
I think that's why they made the public graveyards, and it's so that people weren't burying their dead on their properties, so that they
yep,
could tax them.
that is so ridiculous.
No.
But earlier you were talking about the age, right? We were
Yep.
talking about when things go. The average age where symptoms start is 25. But from my experience alone, that is just an average. Some people, it's not until they're like close to 30.
Well, it's hard to tell when they're young because everybody when they're young go from here to here
Mhm.
real quick. So,
Yeah. And it's just been an ongoing thing for me. And they do say that the symptoms start later, typically for men than women.
mhm,
So girls will get it sooner. Typically, you'll see more signs than men. But then again, they chalk it up to hormones.
yeah. My mom took me to the doctor to see if I was bipolar when I was like 14, 15. It's just I was getting into fights. Had been arrested a few times at that point. And then again, the doctor was just like, I think he's just depressed and let's give him some antidepressants. So I was on
Yeah.
antidepressants for a while and then I became suicidal. So I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I've shared this with you,
Yeah.
but I've tried twice. Once when I was 9, once when I was 13. Two different two different ways. One was I thought cutting would be good, and as soon as I saw the blood, I was like, "Damn, this fucking hurts. I don't think I want to do this."
Yeah.
And then the second way was through pills, and I ended up taking a bunch of stool softeners, and I didn't.
That part you didn't tell me.
But that's how I did. And then I freaking woke up the next morning, and I was like, "Why am I not dead?" And my stomach. I ended up being in the hospital for and in 24 hours because my stomach was all fucked up. Mm.
Wow.
And then I couldn't play football, so then I was even more depressed because they
Yeah.
took me out of football because of it. But yeah, so we went to the doctors, and my mom's like, I think he might be bipolar, and he talked to me, asked me a bunch of questions. He did ask me if I thought about suicide, and I said no, which was a lie. Um,
Yeah.
But he prescribed antidepressants, and I never felt any better on
Yeah.
antidepressants. It never did anything. And we tried three different kinds.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped taking them because I felt like I was getting more agitated and angry when I was on them. So I was getting into school fights. And I'm not blaming the antidepressants on this, but I started freaking doing illegal shit. And
Yeah.
I had been arrested a few times. And yeah, so I've never been diagnosed with bipolar. My older brother has, my mom has, which I think is why my mom took me, but just because
Yeah.
I could be fine in school 1 minute and somebody say something stupid, and then I was on top of them.
Mm,
I think especially with young men, I think we're so quick to light that fuse too.
yeah.
It's hard to tell if they're actually bipolar or not. Which is why I think the average diagnosis is like what you're saying is 25, is because you can act because in 25 that's
You're
usually when
mature.
you're like starting to calm down. They're supposedly calming down.
Yeah, you're
Even
supposed to be like mentally developed at 25.
yeah, yeah. Because men stop growing at 26, women stop growing at 20 or something like that.
One thing I did think was crazy is people that have the disorder typically suffer from additional mental disorders like anxiety, substance abuse, ADD, ADHD. I have anxiety, I have ADHD, I'm bipolar. And then actually, there's an increased risk of suicide for people with bipolar 1 specifically.
Okay.
There's the three types that we're going to get into here. And what we have bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and then, oh my gosh, psych, cyclothymic, it's cycles. It's CYCLOTHYMIC. Wow, that came out funny. I always call it cycloptic, but I'm like, that's not right.
Psychosis?
Cycloth,
Oh,
cyclothymic.
yeah, I don't know how to
There
say
we
that.
go. Cyclothymic. There we
Okay.
go. Oh no,
There
now
you
we're
go.
good. Now we're cooking.
All right.
So,
Cooking with
I,
gas.
yeah, I know. So we're gonna get into one first.
All
So
right.
this is the type that's diagnosed when the sufferer experiences what they call a manic episode. So some of them is hypomanic, and some of it's like straight up manic.
Mhm.
Following symptoms here, it says the person must show at least 3 of these to be classified as bipolar 1. Feeling like they're on top of the world, got it.
Yep.
Increased energy, I get it. Irritability, also got it. I'm already at 3. Decreased need to sleep while still feeling energetic. So you're exhausted, but you can't stop, if that makes sense.
That's me, dog.
Like your
That's
body is shutting down, but your brain will not allow you to sleep.
that's literally me every day.
Yeah. So there's that. Increased or faster talking, check. Jumping from topic to topic quickly while talking or having uncontrollable racing thoughts, check. Being easily distracted. I literally have all of these.
So do I,
Increase increase in
actually.
activity such as restlessness, juggling multiple projects at once. Usually they don't get done. Have a bunch of half-ass done stuff around the house. Increase risky behavior such as spending sprees, sexual activity, and reckless driving. There's also false beliefs and hallucinations. So there's some of these symptoms people might be like, "Oh, that's not as bad." Obviously hallucinations versus you talk fast. There's
Yeah,
a
but
level.
hallucinations can bring you down a fucking dark road, Doug.
Yes, they can. And it's auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations. It could be everything. You can literally Alice in Wonderland your ass
Yeah.
and have no control. You don't even realize that it's wrong.
Yeah.
You believe everything that's happening, and it is a very
That's
scary place to be.
yeah, that's what I think Alice in Wonderland is about bipolarism.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. And like I said, there's also episodes that are called hypomanic, which are identified as less severe symptoms of mania that only happen for 4 consecutive days instead of an entire week. Like mania can last 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from experience, everybody's like, oh, I wish I had that energy and didn't have to sleep or eat. Let me tell you, it's great for about 2 days. Once you hit day 3, your body is hungry, your body is exhausted. And then that's when the irritability starts coming in, the getting distracted starts coming in because it's trying to shut down to function, and you just start losing different things. It's like when you're out in the cold, your body will get all the heat to your core. So your leg will fall off, your arm will get cold, frostbite before your core does. It's like that with your brain. It's trying to
Yep.
preserve itself, so it starts cutting things off that it doesn't think it needs. Most people with a disorder, they do have times where their mood is what would be considered neutral. So that's one thing too that I like to tell people. There is up and there is down always. That's what everybody marks it as. But there are times where you might be a little up. It's kind of like a little wave. You're not roller coastering. It's just a little wave, or you're pretty close to flatline. Unfortunately, those are few and far between
Mm.
in this situation. Now we're going to talk about the downside, the depressive phase. This episode lasts at least 2 weeks, where the sufferer experiences at least 5 of the following symptoms. This one has more. Mania is 3, and it has to last at least 4 days. This one, 2 weeks long, 5 of these things. And let me tell you, horrible. So you have intense despair and sadness, less interest in activities that you used to enjoy, feelings of guilt or worthlessness, fatigue, a decrease or increase in sleep, because it's not always the same. There's also, you could either get a decrease or increase in appetite. It depends on the person and the situation. Sometimes you get one time and the other next time. Restlessness again, such as pacing, slowed speech or movement, difficulty concentrating, frequent thoughts of death and suicide. So I have pretty much all of those at some point.
I think I might be bipolar, homie.
Yeah, get screened. I tell people get screened, because especially if you go from manic, because sometimes if you are manic, you are up there, right? Like you are 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and no one can stop you. You're the shit.
Yeah.
And then even when you come down to your baseline, that drop is still going to feel like it won't be as much of a depressive phase, but it's going to feel like a depression phase because you're coming down off that high.
Yeah.
But when you're down, it's down.
Yeah, I'll give you a recent example is so I started writing a movie script and I am extremely obsessed with it and I'm happy about it, right?
Mhm.
I'm so excited to write it and to see what happens. I don't think that a studio is going to pick it up. If they do, fantastic. But I just want to write. I want to be a writer. That's like my whole thing. I've always wanted to be one since I was a kid. So I have this stack of freaking
Yep.
index cards with scenes on it. I got freaking my characters written down on a book page. I wrote 5 pages of the script, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not good enough,
Yep.
and I haven't touched it in almost a week now.
Yep. I'll do recordings and I'll just pump out recordings. And then all of a sudden I don't want to do the research. I don't want to. It's very hard to be motivated. The way I describe it is there are times where I literally just want to crawl in a hole and rot.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to get up. It takes every ounce of energy that I have just to get out of bed to do anything, let alone function like a normal human being.
Hmm.
And like horrible things where you're just sitting there and you're like, you know what? What if I just like, walked in front of this bus? Or what would happen if I did this? What would happen if I did that? If I just disappeared, would anybody even notice?
Hmm.
Who would notice? How long would I be laying on the floor rotting before somebody even noticed I was gone?
I think about that too, like when I'm at work, is I'm like, what if I just let the truck go off the side of the road?
Yep. Or
Would
into
something
traffic.
happen to me? I know the bigger the truck is, the harder it is for you
Yeah.
to die, but I'm
Well,
like,
I've done that. What if I just swerved a little? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because if I swerve, I'm on that side.
yeah,
It's just, and it's stuff like that where, and people are like, oh, just don't think like that. That's not how it works. Your brain, there's, they're called ANTs,
uh,
automatic negative thoughts,
hmm,
where it is impulsive. You have no control of it popping in there. Now, what you do with it, you have control over, but it is going to pop up regardless. But these depressive phases are so awful because they last for so long. And you can be in the best relationship and a job that you love, everything is peaches and cream. And then for absolutely no reason, you might all spontaneously just cry for no reason. People are like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, nothing is wrong. I just feel like horrifyingly sad. And one of the things I couldn't figure out is not only is it a behavioral and an emotional thing, I was trying to figure out why people like us, the way I look at it is we do everything more. We're literally extra. When we are happy, we don't just get happy, we get ecstatic. When we are sad, we get depressed. When we love someone, we love someone with every ounce of our being. And the way my doctor explained it to me was is you have people that have emotions, which everybody has, but people like us, you're basically taking that emotion and you're putting it under a magnifying glass and amplifying it about 100 times what it is because we can't register there. It is all or nothing. And you have no control. I've broke down for no reason or been happy. Like everything around me shit. And I'm just in a good mood. I'm like, fuck it. Bring it on. But then other times everything's going great. And I just feel so you literally want to crawl out of your own skin because you feel gross.
Yeah.
You just feel gross. Like you can't you want to get in the shower and scrub it off, but you can't get rid of it.
Mhm.
It's just it's a horrible feeling. But anyway, next we're going to go into some treatments for bipolar 1.
All
So,
right, sounds good. Hold on real quick though. I'm gonna go
oh,
fill up my coffee cup if you don't mind.
oh yeah, go for it. All
All
right, back
right.
in action. All right. So, yeah, and cut. Oh wait, no, scene. Wait.
Scene. Yeah, something
I
like
was
that.
like, let's go. You're the movie guy. I can say that many, if not all of the symptoms will improve with medication and psychotherapy. Now, that's not going to say you're never going to fix it. It never goes away. What I tell people is I will never be cured. All I can do is manage. That's it.
Mhm. Yep.
Now, most of the common medications are mood stabilizers. So the most popular one, and I've actually been taking it forever and it works miracles, is the oldest one that they have, and that's lithium. They've been using that since the 50s. Then this type of medication is thought to correct a signal imbalance in the brain. So something about it, it's like it reroutes some stuff. Doesn't close
Yeah.
all the roads, but it reroutes traffic to some of the places. And then there's a multitude of medications that are useful with the disorder, and every patient is different. So you may have to try a few before you get the right one. I called it medication roulette
Hmm.
because everyone is different and there's so many options that it's okay, let's try this. If this doesn't work, we'll try something else. And you literally just have to roulette until you find the right one that sticks. It is a long process, but don't give up.
Process.
It is a very long process. And most of the time, medication is not enough. You have to add in some talk therapy is always good. That's always a good one. But sometimes that's even not enough. And in these cases, there's an option of here we go, electroconvulsive therapy, also known as ECT. And
Oh, gross.
it involves multiple rounds of a brief electrical current on the scalp. Typically, patients undergoing ECT are under anesthesia that leads to a short but controlled seizure. And these ECT induced seizures are thought to reroute the brain. I've actually considered doing this. I've thought about it.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, it's like my cylinders are not firing right or something's not right. So I'm like, what if you shock it to restart it, right? Turn it off, turn it back on. Would it reroute things and make it work properly? I'm always just afraid that it would work the opposite. You don't feel the pain because they knock you out. They basically put you into a seizure and then it's turn it off, turn it back on from IT.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Ele
I I try not to fuck around with electricity, so
I've
I
been
guess
shocked a few times in my life, and it didn't make a difference.
yeah.
Maybe
I
it's not the
have
right currents.
I have issues with my left arm because I got shocked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So ever since then, I've never really thought about it until that time that I got that. So I was climbing a tree and I pulled on a branch and it hit the primary wire of the wires
Oh,
outside on the
wow.
telephone poles, and it freaking sent a shock through me, and I let go. Like if the branch wasn't pulled in a odd way, if it was like normally sitting close to the wire, it probably and it would have stayed there naturally,
You
and
would've
I would have died.
yeah,
But because I had pulled it so unnatural, once it touched that wire, it shocked my arm. My arm went straight out
yeah.
like that, and the branch was off the wire. So
You
it,
got
it
lucky.
so my freaking I had shortly after that I got carpal tunnel in my left wrist. My arm started going numb, and every once in a while, like my arm feels funny, and I gotta
That is
sit here and stretch it and stuff like that, and
oh,
it still
wow.
feels weird. And other other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
So
I've
ever
always
since
wondered
then,
about it.
I'm like, yeah. So ever since then, I'm like, fucking electric anything can go fuck off.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that. That's bipolar 1. Bipolar 2 is a little different, and this requires the person to experience at least one major depressive episode and at least one hypomanic. Bipolar 2 does not have the full-blown manic attacks or episodes. It's only the hypo ones. So people with this type can go back to their normal functionality between each episode. So this is more like you get more baseline and then you just have a flare up essentially.
Yeah.
And sufferers typically experience additional mental illnesses similar to bipolar 1. Treatment is also pretty similar. They use a lot of the same common medications like mood stabilizers, antidepressants, depending on what symptoms you have. And then the last type is cyclothymic. I love how I got it right that time. That was easy.
Yeah.
That was like a pro. This type is a more mild form and it involves many mood swings with frequent bouts of depression and hypomania. So you're more sporadic, but they're not as intense. And treatment, again, medications, talk therapy. They say a lot of times it's helpful to keep a mood journal so you can track where you're going. And
Yeah.
you can. With me, assuming there's not like a stressor, like a big event, you get a new job, even if it's positive, you get a new job, it's a great job, you love your job. That switching from one to the other can trigger a manic episode or a depressive episode. It does not matter how good or bad the situation is. You have a kid, boom. You get married, boom. You get divorced, boom. You move, there's another one. You get a new car. Like anything that changes your routine can trigger your brain to respond.
Mhm.
But if you are pretty consistent, nothing major is going on, you could get to where you see it coming. You know it's coming. You can see the red flags and you could be like, hey, like I do this to people. Hey, I'm going up or hey, I'm going down. And I give people a list. Here's what each symptoms are for each one. So when I tell you I'm going up or down, you know what's coming because I can't always control what's going on. So I always recommend that.
Yeah.
But unlike bipolar 1 and 2, people with the cyclothymic, they can stop and start treatment over time. So they might get pretty good and be like, oh, I'm good for a while. It's a lot less intense. I wish that's what I had. I have
Yeah.
bipolar 1, by the way. So I am like the shit show. I am
You,
like the master, the queen of bipolar.
you know how you were saying earlier how it seemed it was really easy seemed to be easy to tell that you were bipolar early on.
Yeah,
Did you know that sexual abuse leads to early onset bipolar?
that explains a lot.
So like when you're bipolar at a younger age, that it's usually
Yep.
yeah, okay.
It tracks because too, again, major events can trigger.
Right.
That is definitely a major event that could in an instant.
Yeah, so it says that sexual abuse has been linked to early onset bipolarism. So you might have been bipolar anyway,
Yeah.
but because of this happening, it was triggered earlier than it would have
Yeah.
been normally.
Like waking the beast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
So,
know that.
yeah,
But
so
that does make a lot of sense.
which actually reminds me, my sister is too.
Yeah.
Um, or like she might be has a little bit more of a mild form.
Yeah. Maybe
But
like the cyclothymic or whatever.
yeah, so I'm like surrounded by
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Kevin. It's not a fun show, but
no.
it is the big show.
Mhm.
And again, here I put in it's very important for friends and family to be educated, be understanding, and be patient through the process of finding the right treatment. Because just because somebody's starting treatment, it's not, oh, your appendix burst. We just take your appendix out, boom, you feel better. It's not like that. It is a very long process of trying to find the right treatment, the right therapist, dosages, timing. It's a very long process. Just be patient. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. And
Yeah.
sometimes not only does the medication not work, sometimes it'll make some symptoms worse.
Hmm.
And so there is a lot of back and forth. Now, there are ways that you can help support someone if you know they're suffering. And one, educate yourself. So look at reputable sources, make sure they're reputable, and become aware of the symptoms of both sides. I try to be proactive, but again, people might not know, or they might just be getting to that point. Whereas now I've been doing this enough that even my bosses, I will give my bosses at work, here are ups and downs. I can tell you if I'm going which direction, but here's what it is so that they are aware. So then listen, answers are not always needed. That's very important.
Yeah.
It's very helpful for the person to feel that they are being seen and listened to. That is huge. So I struggle with that. If I do not feel like I am being heard, I will beat that dead horse. Like I will get more irate and more angry if I do not feel like I'm being heard. And if
Yeah,
somebody
there
tries to give you the answer, I'm like, I have people, I'm like, I need a soundboard. That's all I need. I just need someone to just let me get it, which is where that therapy comes in huge, huge, huge hand. Because I just want to just get word diarrhea and I just need to get it out and then I feel better. But if I can't do that in like a safe space, it just festers in there.
yeah. Yeah, I don't sometimes and I just want to say something. Like that's basically what you're saying is
Yeah.
you want to speak and you want it to have somebody you want somebody to be speaking too, but you don't need them
Like,
personally
don't
to be
fix
like,
it.
yeah, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I
Yeah.
just want you to listen to me. Stop, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and listen.
Because sometimes too, like with me, things get so they're like I said, you get very overwhelmed because all these things are racing through your head and you
Uh-huh.
can't. But if you just get them out, like I'll be talking and it's, oh, like I solved my own problem. I just needed to get it out of my face, out of my head, because it might be the same thoughts in my head, but saying them out loud, you hear yourself say it and you're like, oh, never mind. I figured it out. No big deal.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's just like the other night I was complaining about my job and I work 12 to 13 hours a day and I only want to do 10. I don't want to do more than 10. That 10 is fine. It's perfectly fine. 50 hours a week, that's fucking fantastic. 60 hours a week, I don't need that shit. But I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted
yeah.
mentally and I think that has led to me not wanting to write this
Hmm.
whole past week. And I was and this has she my girlfriend, she just wants everything to be fixed all the time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And this
Fixer.
ha yeah, this has nothing I'm not she's told it wasn't like a fight or anything, but I'm telling her about it. I was like, I think I need a new job, and I thought that you were only supposed to be doing 12 hours. I was like, well, it's technically 13, and they take 30 minutes out of my day for lunch. So that
Yeah.
because I start at 2 o'clock in the morning, so technically I could be working until 3:30. And she's, why don't you tell? I was like, listen, I don't
Yeah.
need you to go through this
Just let
spiel.
me
Like,
bitch, all right? Just let me vent. I
yeah,
just needed to decompress.
yeah, and I get where she's coming from. She just wants to help, and
Yeah.
you know, she she needs help too.
Yeah.
The baby's up her ass and shit too. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to say it out loud, and just like sitting in a room by yourself and you're saying out loud is different.
Yes.
But when you're
Yes.
actually talking to somebody and you're telling
Mhm.
your issues, then you're just like, I could probably deal with it, or I could just do this or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just
And
like you said, a soundboard.
it's it's funny that you mentioned that about your girlfriend because my boyfriend, we're talking and uh, we've been around each other enough that we're learning. We're This is an ongoing process. It takes a lot of work, and thank
Yep.
God he's willing. But the other day, I was on one, man, and I was just like raw, like dragging, and he literally, I stopped. And he's, "Are you done yet?" He's like, "Are you done?" Because he was just like, "Nope, I'm just gonna let her go." And that's I tell people, I'm like, just let me go and just let me just burn everything around me, and then it's like that pot. It whistles, and it just got to get that valve open to get some of that pressure out, and then it's now I can think straight. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. My problem is that sometimes I talk a little bit too slow,
Oh, not me. I'm
and
like,
yeah, a lot of times people will think that I'm done talking and they'll just start talking over me and
yes.
or whatever, and I get like really irritated about it. And she's done it a few times, and I don't like bitch or anything about it, but she'll we'll be talking about something, and she'll turn around, she'll be like doing dishes or something while I'm talking to her or doing something, and then she'll just be like blah 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 and blah 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 blah, and then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, and I'm like still have this thought process in my head, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about anything you're saying right now, just and but I let her talk, I don't talk over her, and like, literally my head will start going like this, and
Yeah,
then
uh-huh,
when she's
uh-huh.
done I'll go, anyways, what I was
Yeah,
saying.
I do
And then
this. I do
I'll
this all the
finish
time.
that.
And one thing I like to tell people is we kind of have this thing where we feel like no one can understand because we are so different and we know something's wrong and we not always, you got to get there, but then
Yeah, right.
you realize I am different. I am responding in ways that normal people, quote unquote normal people do not. And because of that, we feel very isolated because there's not a lot of people that either they don't talk about it, excuse me, or there's just not a lot of people that are generally around where you can be like, they understand. You feel like no one understands because you're reacting a way that to you is appropriate. And people are responding with, you're crazy and
Yeah.
oh, you're too angry, or oh, you're this, you're that, you're loud, you always feel like no one can get it. It's very isolating and it's very upsetting.
Yeah.
And we understand that what we're feeling and how we're acting is not normal, like I just said. And we might reach out and try to connect with someone and feel like we are not alone or completely losing our minds. Because we choose, I do this now. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Let me get this. I need a sane person, quote unquote, sane. And I'm like, hey, this is going on. This is what I feel. This is what I want to do. Is that normal? But it's you try to gauge it on, is this appropriate? Is it not appropriate? I don't know what's going on with everything. And yes, please, for the love of God, do not respond with your crazy or your psycho or your nuts. It's just not, it's not good. It's not, let's just deem it as not politically correct. Now I can say I'm crazy because it's my brain and I'm crazy, but don't, that is like the worst thing that somebody could do. Oh, you're acting crazy. I'm like, bitch, it is on. You just flip that switch. You thought I was crazy before. I'm going to show you crazy. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. Anyway, so also be active in the treatment if possible. So sometimes just running to the pharmacy might make all the difference because we might be too overwhelmed. Just get the thought of getting out is overwhelming. You're when you're in that depressive phase, you don't want to move. So just be like, "Hey, do you need me to get your meds from the pharmacy?" Or another thing you could do is drive them to their appointment and wait for them to get done. Most of the appointments are 45 minutes to an hour. No, usually no more than that.
Mhm.
And driving is anxiety ridden. It's very overwhelming and then it's exhausting and then it's ugh, like I can't tell you how many times I'm like, you know what? I've gone without eating because I did not want to go to the store or I did not want to go through a drive-through. I didn't have the energy.
That happened to me when I first split from my ex. And so she and she didn't do this on purpose, at least I don't think, but changed my brain pattern from
Mhm.
the almost 4 years that we were together. I, I think manipulation. I think I'll be honest, I wasn't great either, but like I completely changed who I was to try and fit her.
Yep.
So when I came out of that relationship, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's who am I?
Yeah.
Like, and two, it's not just because of your situation. It might not just because of your situation. I do that where I stop and I'm like, who am I?
Yeah.
Especially because when you are in one or the other, you are literally so my boyfriend one time, he told me, he's like, "I don't know which one of you I'm getting. I don't know who I'm getting."
Never
And you
try.
and you really don't we don't know, and it's frustrating for us because we have no control over it. It's not like we choose to go up or down, and there's times where I literally am totally different people, and then it's like I stop and I'm like because I'm responding because I'm manic or I'm responding because I'm depressed, and then it's I don't even know who I am. Like, who am I? What do I like to do? What do I not like to do? You lose your sense of self very
Right.
easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. With When I came out of that, there was times when I would get home from work and I would look at the dirty dishes in the sink and
Mhm.
not want to touch them. And then I'd be like, I really need to eat something because I'm trying to get these gains in the gym, bro. And I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna go to bed. And that happens periodically too, even now, where if it wasn't for my girlfriend cooking dinner every night, there'd probably be a good portion of times where I didn't eat, you
My
know?
boyfriend comes with food. My boyfriend just shows up with food, or he'll like bring stuff to cook and it'll be like, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. And he's like, go make something to eat. And I'm like,
I
ugh.
don't
He's
wanna.
like, well, there was hot dogs in your fridge. I'm like, ugh, but then I got to get up and nuke it. He's like, seriously? It's like a 90-second job. I'm like, yeah, it's too much. I don't feel it. And I'll just be like, man, I'm just gonna go to bed. Like I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is definitely real. Another thing you can do is make a plan. To me, this is very important. I feel that you should have emergency plans in case the symptoms become unbearable or the suicidal thoughts become a big risk. Have a plan. Uh, I am also an advocate for having weapons in your house for protection. I'm all for that. But people like us, sometimes that's a problem. So I have locks on all of my guns and they're on there all the time. And if I feel that I am going to go down in the phase, I have a person that I give them the keys. So I cannot physically even have the opportunity to consider it. It is
Uh-huh.
here. You hold the keys until I am better, and then I will take them back. So having a plan there, tips and tricks to oh my gosh, to complete chores and everyday tasks during low energy swings, as well as a list of coping mechanisms could be very helpful. So finding ways to make things easier. If you're going down or up, be like, oh hey, maybe you should, I don't know, not do one thing, do the other. Time it different. Don't try to do it all at once or just come over and help them. Hey, do you
Yep.
want me to help you fold the laundry or sweep your floor or let your dogs out or just little things like that can make a huge difference whenever you're in one area or the other. And sometimes it is stay the hell away. It's like when you're manic and you are irritable and you are cranky and your head feels like it is spinning and you cannot stop it, the last thing you need is people and clutter. Have a way that you can just get rid of certain things. Oh, hey, it agreed. Hi. So that one's important apparently. But yeah, to me that's very big. And then be supportive, but don't be pushy. So there are things that need to be done and mood swings that can prevent them, like we just talked about. So be patient and supportive in times when they need it. Again, sometimes, now granted, also, they might not tell you that they need you, but it'll be very apparent if they don't.
Yes.
And don't just insert yourself necessarily. Hey, do you want to do this, or hey, do you want to do that, or and don't get upset when they cancel plans, because when we are manic, again, we are 10 foot tall and bulletproof. We want to do everything. Yeah, let's make a plan. Let's go out next week. Let's do that. And then you get out of manic phase and you're like, God, why the fuck did I make these plans? I hate myself. I don't want to get out. It's real. It's real.
Yep.
And some other examples is the house is messy and they don't feel like doing anything and they're depressed. Instead of being a total twat and yelling at them or making them feel worse because they didn't do it, get your own ass up and help for once. Sorry, you can tell I wrote these notes when I think I was still married.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
So
so do
that
the
reminds me of a video that I saw of this kid that came home to his pregnant a girlfriend, and he had a 4-hour shift, and he was mad because she didn't do the dishes. I'm sorry, sir,
yeah,
but
get
you're pregnant.
get
Even she doesn't even need to have a bipolar issue. She is pregnant.
yeah,
Fuck off.
yeah, exactly. But this is the thing. Do the dishes, cook dinner, clean the countertop, do some laundry for the poor thing. Just any
Yeah.
and it might be something simple. Go to the grocery store. Come
Get them
home.
outside. Take them outside somewhere. You'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna go for a
Yeah.
drive and look at the views." I think being outside is super important for our
I'm like
mental health.
anti outside.
I know you are. I know you are, but I think it's so important. I think natural vitamin D from the sun helps us significantly. Touching
So,
grass is
yeah.
grounding ourselves and shit.
But I
I'm
will
into
say
that.
my boyfriend got me onto this. Uh, and now granted, I was working days and I am not a day person. I am a vampire. I am a
You look like a vampire.
yeah. Um, I'm up all night and he's when you get stressed or anxious, right, he's like, go for a walk. It's really good. And I never went out because fuck that noise. I don't like being hot. I don't like the sun. But now that I work nights and I'm up, it'll be like 2 in the morning and I'm walking laps down around the neighborhood.
Yep.
And I feel great. Like it feels good to get out and do that. And sometimes I'm like, he's go for a walk. And I'm like, oh, he's like, just do it. Just do it. And then I always feel better afterwards. It's just it's getting you need that nudge to
Yeah.
get into it. And it's just something that it does help. I will admit, exercise does help. I just do mine at night because I don't like to be out during the and I do. I never in a million years would have been. You'd be like, go for a walk. It's like 2 in the afternoon.
That is why they are finding cows with the blood sucked out of them, is because Natasha has been walking around in the middle
Yep,
of the night.
yep. And I do. I'll go through the neighborhood and like, I have like a reflective band because it's dark out, so I wear it around my arm so that way if a car comes, they can see me.
Yep.
And I walk. I walk everywhere. And then I have a job now, and like I try to get like if I in one there's two places that I work, and one of them I work and I walk around a lot. The other one I'm basically confined to a desk and I
Uh-huh.
cannot move for 12
Ugh.
hours.
Gross.
But I made a point that I'm like, no, I get 2 breaks, on a lunch, whatever. So I'll be like, hey, someone needs to come cover me. And I go out and I walk. I have
Good.
a path. I have a path that I walk, and I know that it takes me exactly the amount of time that I need. So it gets me out. I still get my walk. I'm not sitting at the desk, and it makes me feel better whenever I get back in because you get bogged down. So just make sure you take the time, man. Just take
Mm-hmm.
it. Like if you're not there, don't feel bad. Oh, I got to get this done. Fuck it. It's 15 minutes.
Yep.
It'll be there when you get back. Your mental health is more important.
Absolutely.
And then also make sure they have what they need because sometimes we forget. So, have you eaten today? Do you even have food? Are you staying hydrated? Do you have your medicine set up? Is it organized? Do you need to fill your pill container? What can I help you with? Or just a reminder. Because my boyfriend, he's like, did you eat today? I'm like, nope. He's like, when was the last time you ate? I'm like, maybe yesterday. He's like, get something to eat. Or like, he brings me food. He's like, because if it's in front of me and I don't have to cook it, I'll eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it has any effort, otherwise, I'm like, nah. And there's been times where I've been like, I haven't eaten in like 2 or 3 days.
Damn,
Yeah,
son.
it's amazing. I'm still
That's a
chunky.
long time.
Like last week, I was struggling. I was up for 48 hours straight,
Holy shit.
and I just didn't want to sleep. My body was like, "Nope, we're good, we're good, totally got this," and it was just weird.
I get shaky if I go too long without food.
Yeah, it'll be like eat a candy bar, and it's what did you have today? A candy bar. That's it. I'm like, yep. He's like, did you have any water? Mm. He's like, did you have anything? And I'm like, no.
Oh, water is very important. Water is life.
Yeah, I don't have
There's
a lot of life,
you
and
you have plenty of life. You're an amazing
I
person.
don't have a lot of water though. I am better. So my medicine does make me very thirsty.
Okay,
So I make sure that I keep water by my bed because in
good.
the middle of the night, if I wake up, I'll drink my water. And then at work, I've been very adamant. I fill up my to go coffee cup, my merch cup with coffee. And then after that, I only let myself have water. So it's either be thirsty or drink water.
Yep.
So it's
That's
been better.
that's what I do. I drink coffee first thing in the morning at work. When I wake up, go to work, and then I'll start drinking my gallon of water, and I'll have an energy drink every once in a while. Actually, it's been every day except for I don't drink energy drinks on the weekends, but when I'm at work, because I'm so tired
Yeah.
at work.
I work 12s now too. So I feel your pain.
Yeah, there's times where I'm sitting there, like I'll have to literally pull over and I'll have to sit there for like 10 minutes and I'll do a quick power nap and I'm just like, fuck this.
Yes. Okay. Not whatever day it was 2 days ago. And I also work nights. So when I go into work, it's one day. When I leave, it's the next day. And then whenever I go to sleep and wake up, it's still the same day. So it really messes with my
Yeah.
head. I never know what day it is. But the other day I got up and I got ready and I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, I was driving into work and I can't. Yeah, see? Hi. I just couldn't. I was so exhausted. And I was on the phone with him and I got there and I told him, I'm tired. I was like, I've got 20, 30 minutes before I go in. I was like, I'm just going to get off the phone. Normally I talk to him, but I'm like, I'm getting off the phone. And I put the seat back in my car and I turned my alarm on and I took a 20-minute power nap because I was like, I'm not going to make it. I just can't. I just could not do it. Now, all it took was 20 minutes and I was good. But without that, I was toast.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds like a pain, but it only lasts for a time and their mood will stabilize or will change and they'll go back to having more energy or feeling better. I know it's difficult, but when you are dealing with people like us, just try to remember it's temporary. It's just temporary. We'll get through it. And even the small things make a huge difference. So let them know that you're there for them no matter what and that you'll get through it together. Don't abandon them because they're being hard to deal with because they already feel guilty enough. Because I can't say we as a whole, but I know that I am difficult. No matter how hard I try, I am difficult. At
Yeah,
least
you
part of,
are.
yeah, at least part of the
Yeah,
time.
you are.
And I want so bad to fix it, but I can't.
But listen, there's nothing wrong with you,
Yeah.
okay? There's nothing to fix. You just have to be you the best way that you can be.
Yeah. It's just,
And nobody can be you. Better
It'd be
than
a
you
lot better
can.
if I could be average, kinda, and that's what they my boyfriend told me. He's
Average
like,
o average what, though?
so as
Average
I told him,
what?
I was like, "Can I not just be normal or average or whatever?" And he goes, what was he told me the other day? He goes, "To be honest," he goes, "I'm pretty sure if you were average or normal, I wouldn't like you as much." And
See?
I'm like, "Yeah, I guess one way to look at it, there's never a dull moment. It's always exciting. You don't ever have to cheat on me because I could be 5 different people at once.
Mhm,
Which
mhm.
one do you want? It's a surprise." And so too, I wanted to let people know I'm going to be putting some resources down below. So please check them out if you get a chance. Use them for yourself, maybe refer to people. I've got one for BetterHelp. They do a lot. I wish they would just give me a freaking, what do they call it, where they sponsor me.
Yeah.
There's a couple just things down there about this is stuff. There's dbsalliance.org. I've got mind.org UK, informational support. It gives types of different health problems and supporting people with that. So it'll give you background information, places where you can get help. And then there's one that's specifically for how can you help people that are involved in your life that have it. Because again, some people don't know. And with my job that I have now, it has it's really hit me hard, to be honest. So I work in an emergency department and people come in on the EMS and I'm literally looking at the sheet and they have the same diagnosis that I have. And they come in and people are like, "Oh my gosh, this person's nuts," or "Oh, they're like off their rock," or whatever. And I, as a person who's looking at the sheet and I am looking at the person in front of me and I'm like, "Oh," because even I'm like, "Man, that's they're out there." But then it's to that person, nothing is wrong. Nothing's wrong. To them, they are 100% in belief of whatever's going on in their head. That is it. And it's
Mhm.
real.
Yep.
And it's very hard for me because then I had to question if I think I am better and I think I am okay, do I really seem like that to other people and I just don't realize it? It hit me hard when I started my job because and then a lot of people don't have that understanding. They come in, they're like, "Oh, this person." I'm like, "No, I get it. Like, I understand. This person's probably in this phase, and this is what's going on." But it is very much an issue because I literally was like, "Oh," because we don't always realize that we're being overbearing or irritable and whatever, or difficult or insecure, or because to us, there's like you're saying one thing, our brain is hearing something. So one thing I have learned, if you have it, if you know somebody who has it, this has been a huge game changer for me. If you're getting frustrated or the person you're talking to is getting frustrated, what I tell people is this is what you said and this is what I heard. See, we got an agreement. So I do that all the time because like then I they might say something and they don't mean it bad. They don't, but I take it the wrong way. And they're like, "Why are you freaking out?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? You said this." They're like, "That is not at all what I meant." I'm like, "This is what you said, and this is what I heard, and this is the reaction." So I'm like, if that is not what you meant to say to me, I need you to change your words.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes it's just a matter of you can say the exact same thing, but use different words and it will not bother us. But sometimes there's those trigger words that just set you off. And we don't know why. It just is.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's what I have on bipolar and it's a mess. So do you have anything that you wanted to add or
I would love to add, stop sexually abusing children. That would be
yes.
fantastic. I think that would be a very large step in, the help of mental health,
Mm-hmm.
because being sexually abused at a young age turns into a lot of issues for that
Yes.
individual as they get older, mentally.
Yeah.
Um,
And be a part of the life.
I would yes,
Don't
yes,
abandon your children.
yes, that too.
And don't
Um,
fight. Parents, like you can be separated and co-parent effectively.
yeah.
Stop stop trying to make the other parent the bad guy. It is a team effort. If you want, you can raise functional children and not have be like in the same household. You can do
Yeah.
that. It's possible. Make sure you're
Oh,
part of their lives. Make sure that they are in a position where they feel safe to talk to you. Do not judge them. Don't make them feel bad because somebody might be like, "Oh, I feel this way." And they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't feel that way." Or, "Oh, it's specifically, oh, for the love of God, do not tell a little boy that it is not okay to have emotions. It is not
yes.
okay to talk
Yeah.
about it. You need girls and boys. I know girls are, we talk a little bit more, but particularly boys, like they need to know that feelings are okay. It's not going to mean that they're weak or they are soft or anything. It's just not. And it drives me insane when people do that. Like, oh, you got to be a tough boy. Don't. No, if you're doing that, you're raising a douchebag. You're going to raise somebody who they're going to suppress everything and it's going to cause problems later on in life. They need children alike need to know there's a safe space. If you cannot provide that safe space for them to talk, find them one. If you're not comfortable talking to your kid about this stuff and you don't want to be open or you don't know if you can handle it, find someone. There are plenty of resources out there to get them help if they need it or want
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Become the person, become that safe person that you needed when you were a kid.
Mhm. Stop the cycle. Stop the cycle.
Generational trauma for real.
Mhm. And I'm bipolar, and so I've been trying to keep an eye on my son because I am aware of it, and I know that there's a risk that he can have some of the same issues. I try to keep a close eye. Is
Yep.
he going up or down? Is this normal? Is he like, what's going on? Like, hey, and I am very open with him. This is what's wrong with me. Here's some of the stuff that like this is why I am this way sometimes with you. And what if you are feeling this way? That's the other thing. If you are feeling that way, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. If you are struggling with XYZ, those thoughts and those emotions are totally normal. Totally normal. It's just
Absolutely.
what you do with them is what is important. Okay, sorry, Tosh,
Absolutely.
talk over.
It's okay.
Let me
I
get off my
also
soapbox here.
I also want to say that if you yourself or anybody else is struggling mentally, a good resource is 988. I know you're going to
Yep.
put
On my
um
website too.
yeah, I'm sure you're going to put it in the show notes and stuff, but I think it's extremely important here in the United States anyway. A 988 is a good resource. They'll even give you resources to help. They'll even help you help somebody else. So you don't have to be going through a mental
Mhm.
crisis, but you see somebody else and you don't know how to help them. So calling them, they'll give you resources and stuff and try and help you with that. So I think that's
Yeah.
important. And another thing is that I love saying on my show is stay another day. You're only going to be transferring trauma, and I know you don't want to do that. So I think whatever you believe in, a God, a creator, or whatever created this universe looked across this earth that it made
Mhm.
and was like it needed one of you. So boom, you exist for a reason. Whether that
I've
reason be freaking to help somebody, like you just say one word to somebody at some point in your life and it just helps them for
yeah,
whatever reason. Like
I'm a ladybug.
yeah, it could be that mundane, but you have a purpose. Everybody does. And I think it's extremely important for everybody to know that they are loved even if they don't realize
Mhm.
it.
I agree, and you never truly know. You could simply open a door for someone, say hello, and you could be what keeps that person from doing something.
Mhm. Even just a
And
smile.
yep, that's it. And they're like, "Oh, okay." Have you seen Bullet Train?
Yes.
I am a ladybug. And a lot of times when I tell people I'm a ladybug, nobody knows what I mean. So if you guys have not seen Bullet Train, the way they explain, because the Brad Pitt's character his handler calls him a ladybug. And for a long time,
Mhm.
he doesn't understand the meaning until the end of the movie. Sorry, I'm going to ruin it. But the way she described it is a ladybug is a person that soaks up all the bad luck so that other people can get the good luck. Like they are resilient and they can persevere through anything. So all these it seems like fluke accidents, which is literally my entire life is a bunch of fluke accidents. And they're like, this shouldn't happen. Boom, it happens. This shouldn't happen. Boom, it happens. They're like, how is this? I have literally had 1 in a million situations at least 10 times in my life. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. But there's been a lot of people that because I am so screwed up and I have been through so much trauma, but I'm still like, people are like, how are you even alive? I've
Mhm.
had people that are like, if I went through a portion of that, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But then I've had people that are like, oh, if you can do that, then I can do this. It's if your life sucks, come talk to me because I can make you feel better about yourself real fast, like real fast. Only positive thing with all this crap that I have gone through is that I have had multiple people that are like, if you had not said something or you had not been there for me to talk to, I would have never gotten help.
Mhm.
I would have given up.
Yep.
I would have never gotten better. And not that I'm not doing anything except just being open and honest about it. And sometimes, like you said, maybe that's it. I have no idea. I literally should not be here. I medically should be dead on more than one occasion. The
Yeah.
doctor's like, you died or you should be dead. We don't know what's going on, but here you are. And I
Mhm.
go, surprise, every time. And they always laugh at it because I'm like, here I am. But with you, I struggle because if we're being honest, I do not have a lot of self worth at
Yeah.
all. Like,
And if I could change that for you, I would do that in a heartbeat because you use words like "I'm screwed up" and stuff like that. You're not screwed up, you're just a person. You're just a soul experiencing a human experience, and it's different for all of us, and you're experiencing it in a way that is obviously different than a lot of people, but that doesn't make you
yes.
screwed up.
Yeah, it makes me feel screwed up.
I
Everything.
know, I
So
know.
I had this assignment my therapist gave me, and she said, write down the things that you think is wrong with you. And then you have to come up with at least one way that could be positive.
Yep.
How could that trait be positive? I have been thinking about this for 3 weeks and I have gotten nothing. Oh, wait, no, I got one. I got one thing. That was it.
Okay.
And it's just because to me, it makes me hard to deal with. It makes me, quote unquote, a problem. People don't want to stick around me because I'm difficult. The only thing I got is the fact that I can multitask makes me really freaking good at my job because I can handle all these things moving at once. And that pretty much sums it up.
I also think it makes you a stronger mother because you can see the signs in your own children.
Touche. Hats
So
off. Hats off to Kevin. But yeah, and sometimes you just need a reminder. Like my boyfriend, I was struggling last night and this morning, and I just felt like a total failure. I've got a
Mhm.
bunch of crap going on, and I just felt like I was failing. And I told him, I was like, I'm failing at everything. I'm not. He's like, you're not a failure. And I was like, I feel like a failure. Like I feel like I'm failing my kid. This whole single parent thing is freaking hard, man.
Uh-huh.
And he's, is your kid fed? Yeah. Are the lights on in your house? Yes. Yes. And he's like, do you have a roof over your head? Because I'm pretty sure you don't live in a cardboard box. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, does he have clothes? Yeah. He's like, does that sound like a failure to you? I was like, shit. I guess not. It sure feels that way. So just sometimes, like you said, if you're struggling, sometimes it's all about perception.
Yep. That's all it
And
is.
yeah,
That's all it is.
and sometimes that's all that somebody needs to hear is, hey, you're here. With all this
Mhm.
crap happening, you're strong enough to still be here. They're like, "Oh, eventually it'll get better." And I'm like, "Really? Because I've been waiting for 34 years, man. When's it gonna get better?" I'm waiting. Come on, man. I was like, "There's no light at the end of this tunnel." I was like, "I'm just getting an ass whooping the whole way through." But I tell people I'll rest when I'm dead, but then I'm like, "No, I'll probably haunt people, so I'll spend all of eternity still roaming around."
I'm sure
But
you have plenty of good times in the middle, in
let's
between
hope.
things.
It's all kind of a blur. I am ready to live because I feel like my entire life I've never lived. I have only survived.
Yeah.
And that is a very real feeling. But got anything else? We good?
Well, I'm good.
All right. Again, Kevin, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to get something out there because I'm with you. We both want to get that out there, give people some resources, let them know that they're not alone, and just arm them with everything that we can to just make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
Wow. Miss America. Sorry. World peace. Miss Congeniality and world peace. Um, but again, thank you, everybody. Go check him out. I still got to get my hands on some of that hot sauce. If I run into you in any events, I definitely need to hit you up. But check him out. I'm going to have his links below as well. But I guess until next time, everybody, see ya.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and give the show a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show and allows people to find us more easily. Also, head on over to www.patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy and subscribe to any of the tiers. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts on the pod, ad-free episodes, access to the private Discord server, quarterly appreciation gifts, and a chance to be on the show. Not to mention video versions of the episode. Before you go, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some self-designed merch by me, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please send them to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experiences on a listener episode. Just make sure that you specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show and let me know whether or not you would like your real name read or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you guys all again so much for your support. Until next time, my friends. See ya.